Women train men to be angry.
Topic of today's short talk is how women train men to be angry. This is something that many women do, and that many women do inadvertently.
Women train men to be angry. It's something that men don't even realize, but women do pathologically because women like angry men. They like violent men. They like very dishonest. It's true. Women like very toxic men. You know, the bad boy. And there's a reason why this occurs. Today we have a video from Psych Hacks. His channel will be linked in the description so you can go and check him out and give him some support. And we're going to be looking at this topic closer as to how women train men to be angry, what the implications are, and why this is only going to lead to more men walking away in the future. Watch it in the video to fully understand how women are training men to be angry and how this is going to affect women going into the future. Now let's just go ahead and jump into the video.
Of course, is to be expected, as few women prefer to be in the presence of male anger. In fact, most find male anger terrifying, which makes their contribution to this process all the more tragic and ironic. And this is not to say that men don't have their share of responsibility in this. After all, they inadvertently allow themselves to be trained in this way. However, if women can come to appreciate how they may be perversely incentivizing male anger, it will go a long way toward reducing unnecessary relationship conflict. To explain how this process occurs, I'm going to begin by sharing an anecdote from my own life. Now, I am by no means a perfect person.
I will share this with you. You know, Psych Hack, he says reducing conflict in their own lives. And he knows this quite well, that women love chaos and they love conflict. They actively create conflict in relationships so they can then determine if the man still cares about them. You know, for example, when a woman creates conflict, when she starts picking over small things, she's deliberately trying to create that conflict so that the man will react to it. She wants him to react so then she can say, oh, well, he still cares about me. Okay? You have to understand that for most women, having a peaceful relationship is boring. Stability for a woman is boring. You know what stability leads to? It leads to desire for more. It leads to desire for something to change, good or bad. But they need something. They need a dopamine rush, or else they want to be out. While men enjoy stability, for a lot of women, they absolutely hate it.
All other things being equal, I'm a fairly patient guy. In the last 10 years, I can count the number of times I've raised my voice on one hand. And all of those times have been associated with two specific women. I was in a long-term relationship with one of these women many years ago, and I remember having a lot of trouble getting through to her. And this was really puzzling to me because I know that I'm actually an exceptional communicator. I'm articulate and precise in my words.
This is a clinical psychologist, bro. By the way, I'm just saying, this is a clinical psychologist who does this for a living. This is how he feeds himself. And he is struggling with communicating with a woman. What this actually illustrates is the fact that they're just gaslighting us. They've been doing it for ages. We are being gaslit. The smartest thing a man can do is never become too invested in a relationship. All right? This is one of the reasons why men should not get married. Like, under any circumstance, don't get married. All right? Never get involved in a relationship that you cannot walk away from. A lot of these guys, they go to the Philippines and they're like, oh, well, I don't care. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to. And then they come on YouTube and start crying years later that the Filipina was tricking them and she was actually in a relationship behind their back and she was just using them so that she could build her life and then get out, and they would never have known because she did all of the things that they expect that they would have wanted from a relationship. She was still making sure that their balls were empty and their bellies were full, and she was telling them all of these excuses and lies, but the Filipina is still perfect. Oh, God. A lot of men put themselves in these positions, and when you tell them, do not get attached, they don't listen. All right? Many of you, I don't care. I really don't care because you don't want to listen to me, and you don't. I can't tell you what to do. But for example, guys, I go through a lot. I go through a lot in my own life, and there's stupid things that I want to go do, but I can't do it. You know the reason why? Because I've learned my lesson. There are many times where I hear from older men or men who've gone through these things. Some guys younger than I am, and they share their knowledge of their experiences, and they say, "Don't do this." See, I'm smarter than you are. I'm wiser than you are. You know the reason why I'm wiser, why I'm so much wiser than so many of you? Because I learned my damn lesson. All right. When other men speak, I listen. All right. I don't have those big balls like the rest of you that, oh, I'm gonna go and do what I want, and then you're crying your eyes out when you get screwed. All right. No, 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 no. I learned my damn lesson. I learned my lesson. I know to stay in my damn lane. A lot of y'all don't know how to stay in your damn lane. All right. You don't know how to listen when someone speaks to you. When you have a bunch of men who've done this already and walked down that path, and they tell you, "Don't do this," and you're foolish enough to go and do it, and then you want to come back and act like a baby, and everyone should cry for you, and relate to you when you were told not to do these things countless times. All right, and men explain to you why you should not do these things, and you didn't want to listen because you were busy listening to your lizard brain and you wanted to have the Disney princess experience. All right. Oh, you wanted to live like it was a Disney movie. It's all cap, bro. It's all cap. But you didn't want to listen, and now look at you. You're pathetic. You're losing hundreds or thousands of dollars a month in child support or alimony. Your life is messed up. You're homeless. Like, bro, you belong to the streets. You belong on the streets.
Command of tone and expression to clearly indicate my emotion. In general, I don't have a problem transmitting my message to my intended audience. However, when I brought certain issues to her attention, for whatever reason, my words just didn't seem to penetrate her understanding. In the moment, it would seem as though she understood. However, when the conversation was over, she'd just go back to doing whatever it was that she was doing before.
You see, it's not that she doesn't understand, it's just that she doesn't care.
Never happened. And in the beginning, I just assumed that this was my fault, that I hadn't yet used the right words to represent how important this was to me or how disrespectful and hurtful her behavior was. I assumed that if she understood this, she would have to change her behavior. And the fact that she hadn't changed her behavior was proof that she hadn't yet understood.
You have to understand that women do not view us the way that men think. We believe a lot of men think that women will view us as human beings and they will treat us like human beings. This is incorrect. A woman loves a dog more than she loves a man. How can we even see this? We can see it playing out in our country, in the United States. In the United States, more money is spent every year for reproductive care in dogs than reproductive care in men. And countries, I believe, like Malaysia, men are passing away right now because the healthcare system is so screwed up that their needs are not being met. All right, there are specific health issues that are killing men over, I believe, in Malaysia, and there's also a gender disparity where there are more women than men. So women are searching for men, but they all want high value men, and they hold the majority of all college degrees, everything. It's a completely female-driven society, and instead of addressing the issues of men, they completely focus on women's health care. So the vast majority of basically all of the budget goes towards women's health, and they say men can take care of themselves. Figure it out for yourself, bro. So now you have men passing away rapidly. You have a gender disparity where there are way more women than men. So women can't even find relationships, and women now have to hold down society. So they need to go and pay the majority of taxes right now in society. They need to pay the taxes. They need to do all of these things, and the country is slowly dying. And there's no way that you can fix it because the country hates their men so much. The infrastructure in the country is beginning to collapse because there are fewer men to actually do this work, and women are not picking up the slack in these areas. They're not going to fix bridges. They're not going to become electricians. They're not going to become mechanics. The country's falling apart. And guess what? They don't care. They don't care, and their go-to is blame men. They're literally destroying their men. They're literally sending their men into oblivion, and they will do nothing to help their men. And you wake up and you realize, yeah, this is how women operate. This is how the state operates. All right. This is how simps operate. Even if there are no men left on the planet, women will still blame men. They will still say they don't feel equal to men. You could have a system in place where, women are being cloned and the entire population is women and men have been gone for 100 years or 1,000 years, and they would still 1,000 years later be out there blaming men. While there would be some women who would say, you know what, we did this. Most women would say, no, I'm going to choose the feelings I like, and the feelings I like are the ones that tell me that, that allow me to divert any responsibility. So, I could just blame the men, and they're not even here. They can't argue with me. So how wonderful is that? Like, guys, like I showed you guys, women are now openly promoting Satanism. Openly promoting Satanism, showing us all they're reading satanic literature, putting it out in the open. Guys, like, oh, vampires aren't enough for women anymore. Vampires aren't enough. Like, they are literally out there with the Satanic Bible. They are literally out there promoting all the satanic books that they love.
I love reading A Demon's Guide to Wooing a Witch by Sarah Hawley, which is the sequel to A Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon, which I absolutely freaking adore. One of my favorite rom-coms of all time. It is so much fun. I was not prepared for how hilarious the antics in this book were going to be. It's better than I was expecting. I'm not exaggerating when I say I am laughing out loud on almost every single page. Stroth wakes up with amnesia after getting his ass beat and finds out he was banished to Earth by one of the other demon bosses. He is the only one who can help.
Journal didn't give y'all weird vibes from the jump. I mean, it's literally called a shadow work journal. I don't know how some of y'all thought that this was like a therapy book, but that is literally a demonic witch's grimoire. And if you don't believe me, I'm okay with showing you something. So let's start with what shadow work actually is and where it comes from. So for one, it's called shadow work because it's the psychology of dealing with your shadow self.
Guys, this is what women are doing. All right, they are putting their demonic content right out there in public now too. Like, they're just putting it up at Barnes and Noble on the shelf. Like, yeah, we can do whatever we want. All right, ladies, come in. Pick. Like, guys, they are so deep into witchcraft.
Bro, I saw this. Look.
These are books
Barnes and Noble added a monster, Enjoyer section.
These are all books on demons. All right, these are all books where women are getting into relationships with demons, not vampires, not werewolves. No, actual demons from hell. Demons from hell. Okay? And they're out here just like now. They're out here literally promoting the Satanic Bible casually now. Like, they are, like, guys, this is what's happened.
Hey everybody, my name is Kyra, and I would like to read to you a small portion of the Satanic Bible.
This is what they're doing, y'all. All right? This is what they're doing. This is where America has come. Like, guys, Sodom, I'm going to be honest with you. We know that they were doing some really bad things in Sodom before God destroyed it. Holy cow. Like, guys, the witches are out in full force. They're standing against God. They're trying to drive you away from God. Many of them who speak of God, they are only doing it for show, trying to cover things up. Guys, Satan will call God's name too. Never forget that. Satan will call God's name too.
Where the solution was to try again and to communicate more clearly and effectively than before. And I did try again. Many, 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 many times. Not only that, I used all the various communication strategies and psychological tactics I had at my disposal to get my point across, and none of them worked. I was calm, I was patient, I sought to understand rather than be understood.
Dude was treating her like a patient. He was being gaslit the entire way. All right. It took time for bro to understand. All right. She is gaslighting you. She is taking advantage of you. She does not like you, bro. She doesn't like you. She wouldn't be doing this with Chad and Tyrone, and especially Little Poncho. All right. You're just a meal ticket for her. She just wants your attention, your time, and your money. She wants to create chaos in your life. A woman who actually loves you does not make your life hard. She makes something else hard.
Everything I could to let her know that her behavior was problematic and that I wanted it to stop, all to no avail. Until one day, after scores of unsuccessful attempts to get through to her, I had it. I snapped, I lost my temper, and I yelled and screamed at her. And guess what happened? For the first time ever in the history of that relationship, she apparently heard what I said and she changed her behavior. And it was at this point that I realized that I had to take myself out of that relationship.
You see, here's the problem that Psych doesn't understand. This is every relationship. Even if you're in a relationship with a woman where it appears she comprehends, just because it appears that she understands you does not mean that she respects you. Jordan Peterson has said this. He said that, every man must be capable of violence. Not to say that you should be violent, not to say that you should use violence against others, but you should be capable of it. Imagine being in a relationship with a woman who does not believe that you are capable of standing up to her. If you are not capable of standing up to her, if you have to constantly walk on eggshells around her, she will never respect you. Most women don't respect most men today. And I was thinking about this earlier because they know that at the end of the day, all we can do is dance around the subject. They could easily at any moment call the cops, lie, and say that we've done something that we haven't. They could easily turn on, start recording us and destroy our lives by posting it on social media. They could easily go and file a civil lawsuit against us and destroy our lives that way. They have so much power that they know that we know that they can basically destroy us easily. All right. The girl working at McDonald's can wreck your life. A woman you don't even know can wreck your life. That's how much power they have. So they know that men are basically on their best behavior all the time, trying to please them and trying to act like we're still men when really we are mostly powerless when dealing with them. That's why they like the thugs, because with the thugs, they know the thugs have nothing to lose and everything to gain. The thug will stand up to them. The thug will snap on them. And you know what's crazy? What's crazy is that you'll have women who get into relationships with some bad dudes, and these dudes, they'll still cheat on these dudes. They'll still screw around on these dudes, knowing damn well how these dudes are, because they don't care. Like, that's how far they have gone. So if they will do these things to a thug, then what will they do to you? They don't have any respect for you at all. All right. What Psychax doesn't want to really acknowledge here is she never respected him. He was too nice. He was just she basically views you as nothing. If you're a good guy, a soft-spoken guy, a guy who's respectful, she's not putting in that kind of work into the relationship. You are nothing more than an opportunity for her. You are a plan B guy for her. She's just using you to build her life off you, and then she'll move on to the next one.
Frequently did. Why? Because if the only way I could be heard in my relationship was by raising my voice and becoming increasingly aggressive, then I would be molded into an angry, aggressive man over time.
Guys, the future for women going forward is basically one of extraordinary destitution, poverty, hardship, because more and more men are not getting into relationships, and women don't have money to survive on their own. Women were not designed to live without a husband, and the state cannot provide for all of them. So, what's the future? The future is basically lots of women being childless and single, or or even the single mothers not having anywhere to turn to, because they're going to start to see those benefits getting cut, because the government does not have that kind of money. Come 2030, 45% of women will be childless and single between the ages of 25 and 44. That's not even counting single mothers. You count single mothers, we're talking like it's 70 to 80% of women that are going to be single in just the United States alone. All right. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy. Guys, what do you think regarding all of this? This is how women train men to be angry. They subconsciously are not rewarding behavior that they don't want, and they don't want kind and loving and good men. All right, what they want are angry, miserable men who are dishonest. You know, women condition men to be liars. Women condition men to lie. They absolutely do. They'll tell you straight up, lie to me. All right, tell me the things that I want to hear. Stroke my ego. All right, it doesn't matter if it's grounded in reality. It's whatever my feelings say it is. What do you guys think regarding everything we discussed here today? Let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, Men Walking Away. And cheers.